Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to teach you how you can use another software referred to as EXE to design multiple choice items or multiple choice questions. What I have here is what your students will be able to see. This is a paper, Advanced Level Physics Paper 1 of the year 2002. So the items I'm using in this question are obtained from that paper. When the student receives this paper, of course, I'll update this to read Physics Paper 1, year 2002. The student is able to go to the first question, and you can see it is written multiple choice. This one is optional. I'll show you how to remove it. Now, which of the following pairs of units are both SI base units? There is a hint that I've given over here. If the student clicks that hint, he's able to read the hint and then goes on to answering the questions. Or the student can answer the questions without looking at the hint. The first option. If the student clicks that as the correct answer, a solution is given immediately. This choice is wrong because degrees Celsius is not an SI base unit. So you can see this software allows us to give comments as to the choice the students make. Now the correct answer is B, this one here. So if the student clicks that, immediately the student receives this information. Correct. And I can provide more information as far as SI base units are concerned. So you can see when the student uses this, they are able to attempt the question and get more information concerning the answers which they are giving. Now, this is a question that involves plain text. Let's go to a question that involves diagrams. Question number 2, you can see there is a diagram here. So I'll show you how you use EXE to draw this diagram, because what the student is supposed to use when they are looking at this type of file is a web browser. So I'll show you exactly how you insert these images or diagrams into your page. And you can see, again, I give the hint, and the choices are also in diagram form. Again, I'll show you how to do that. Question number 3 is about formulas. This software is not very easy to use when it comes to writing formulas. Again, I'll show you a method that you can use, a very quick method that you can use in order to get these formulas onto that page. So let's go straight to EXE. I want to mention at this point that I have dealt with EXE elsewhere in this channel. If you have not watched these videos, ensure that you have done that, because I take you through the process of downloading the software and installing it into your computer. So I'll go straight to what you will be able to see once you have installed it in your computer and you are ready to use it. And it's over here. Again, you'll have to use a browser in order to design these multiple choice questions. And remember, you don't have to be online in order to work with EXE. Once it is in your computer, you do not need to be online in order to design these items. So once you're ready to use it, the first thing that you will observe here is that this one will read as home. Then you can be able to edit that. What you do is just double click on that and you're able to edit it over here. So I'm not going to change that. And then you can start creating pages or adding pages onto this first page so that those pages are nested in this first page over here. How do you do that? Once you have clicked that home page, you will just click here to add a page. And you can see immediately I have added a page here. And then I'll edit this page to read 4. So I double click, and over here you can see it allows me to edit that. Like I said, That is question number 4. Then I say OK, and it appears there. That is what I did with these other pages here. So I want to go to the next question in that paper. So this is the next question here, and you can see it has a diagram. So this one will be a suitable one so that I can be able to show you what you do. If you're creating the questions, then it becomes easy because you're just going to type into the editor using the text editor. But if you're copying it from elsewhere, you'll just need to select, copy, and then you go to the software. Here it is. Now over here, you'll have to click the right kind of interactive activity, and that is multiple choice items. So you click on that, and there is an I device which appears here, allowing you to type that question over here. Question editor. You can use the editor, so you have to click on it, and it appears here. So you can type directly over here. I'm going to use point 14 so that the font is large enough so that we are able to see it in this video. However, I've already copied what I wanted to write here, so I'm just going to do Ctrl V, and you can see it appears there. So there is something you will observe here as far as the equations are concerned. Equations are not very easy to write using this software. I'll cover it in another video, how you can edit the equations. There is a diagram, this diagram here. I want to refer to another video that I have created showing you how you draw diagrams using Microsoft Word. Please refer to that video so that you can see how it is done. What you do is that you're going to crop this image. Once you're in Microsoft Word, you crop the image, and the cropping is very simple. So over here, I have Microsoft Word. Let's say I want to put that image over here. So like I've said, I want to crop that image so that it appears here. So I'll go to Insert, Screenshot, press onto that arrow there, Screen Clipping, click on it, and now it takes me directly to this image which I want to crop or to have a screenshot. I select, and it appears here. As soon as it appears here, I'm going to save it as a picture. So save as picture, and let me just save it in the usual place where I've saved all the other images. And I'm going to save it as I'll use this notation here, or this file name, and then I'll say this is question 4. And it is PNG. So I save it. So it is already saved. So I put that one away. I go back to my software because I want now to insert that image here. So I press enter and click on this icon which prompts me to insert the image. Click on it. Go to the folder where I have the image, and you can see it's here. Click on that and then say open. I can name the image. Maybe I can just say, very quickly, I can say it is question 4. And even the title would be question 4. The dimensions of the image are given there. Just click on OK, and your image is inserted. There you have the image. You can be able to use the corners here to change the size of the image to your desire. For me, I just want to leave it like that because it appears quite okay. Let's look at the rest of the question. I have to type this one below the image, press enter, And again, Control V, and we have that. Now I want to enter the first option. Of course, let me put away this editor. The multiple choice that was appearing above every question, this one here, multiple choice, you can remove it. So you just need to delete that. For me, I just want to leave it there because I want the student to always bear in mind that they are dealing with multiple choice questions. So I can put a hint as to this question that will help the student to make the correct choice. Hints are very important, especially when students have difficulties in attempting the question. You can give a hint. However, that one is optional. If you want to give a hint, let me go to the first question where I had already given a hint, and you will see how it looks like. So the hint is over here. I'll type something that helps the student to be able to make the correct choice. It is just a guide. You are not giving the answer here. That's why it is called a hint. And that is where you type it. Then when it comes to the option, I'm going to type the first option here. Again, I'm going to copy paste all these options. So let me copy the first one here, copy. Then I come to the option over here, editor, font, 14 points, then Control V, and it goes there. Now there is no need of saying option A, B, C, and D. There is really no need because you might want to shuffle these options. And if you shuffle when you have already written A, B, C, and D, then it becomes a bit of a problem. In other words, what I'm talking about is this. From time to time, this software prompts you to save your working. That is why there was that blinking over there on the taskbar. Always save your work. These are the letters I'm talking about. A, B, C, D. When you're using that software, don't write them down because you might want to shuffle these options and you don't want this one, starting with D and C and all that. You just want the options themselves to be shuffled. Let me copy the next one because I'll have to paste it. Copy. Now, when I write the first option, I can give a feedback here. Feedback. And if this option is the correct one, there will be this button here which I can click, showing that that is the correct option. Then I can add more information here. This one is again optional. Let me add another option here. As soon as you add, you scroll all the way almost to the bottom, you will see option editor. Again, you're going to paste it there, and it again appears. Again, you can create another. Before you do that, you can give the feedback saying why it is wrong. Giving more information as to the student's choice. You add another option, that is option C, and also option D. After you have done all that, you will click over here when you are done. And you can see I never finished the question because this question had 4 options. But the reason why I did that is just to show you how you can enter text, create a diagram, and create these options. The next part is, of course, how to write formulas. So I'll use question number 3 where I've written these formulas. And let me go to edit so that you can see what I did. I went through the process of writing the question, giving the option. But when it comes to this option here, which gives this equation, it's a bit of a challenge to do that with this software. So this is what I did. So first of all, I wrote down the question. using Microsoft Word. Like you can see here, I'm using Microsoft Word, and I wrote down these equations. Now, how do I write this equation? Let me just show you using one of them. Maybe let us say there is an option here that I would call E. If I want to write an equation, like for example this one here, I'll go to Insert, Equation, and then that equation has got a square root and a fraction inside it. So the first thing I would do is to put this square root sign and then put this fraction inside. So, and I'll go here, click on this arrow, and it gives me an option of so many square root signs that I can be able to use. The easiest one is this one. And inside here, now I'm going to put a fraction. So I'll go to this fraction, and that type of fraction looks like this. So I click on it, and I'm able to write this. So using the arrow keys on the keyboard, I put my cursor here because I want to write V, velocity, then equal sign, then over here, this is G over rho. I have G, and then I insert a symbol here. So I'll come over here, insert symbols. If you can't get the symbol here, you come to more symbols. The reason why maybe you can't get it here is because you have not used it before. But for me, I just used this feature, so it gives me that symbol that I used over there. So the row is over here. So I just click on it, and you can see the equation is done. Now, once you've written this equation, you're going to take a screenshot of it, the way we did with the image. Take a screenshot. I've already shown you how you do that using the diagram. Now, once you've got the screenshot, save it as a picture, and that is exactly what we did with this. We took the screenshot, it's here, we save it as a picture, and then we insert that picture in the option. That's exactly what I did with this, because even when you click on it, you'll see that it actually is an image. It's a picture. You can see that. It's a picture. So that one is an easier way of inserting equations into this software. Now let me go to saving your work or exporting your work, because you want the students to be able to use a web browser to open this kind of file. So you'll go to File, and then Export. Then you will export it as a website. What is a website? A website is just a collection of web pages. Now you're going to view these web pages when you are offline, because what you will do is that as soon as you have exported it as a website, you will get that folder. Of course, you can compress it, then send it over to your students with necessary instructions on how to use it. So I'll export it as a website. You can export it as in other forms depending on what you want to do. I'm sure those with learner management systems might find this feature useful, or those who are using SCORM. So export it as a website. It prompts me to create a name for my folder. Let me call this name just number 4. Just 4. It will immediately go to this folder that I had created here. So select folder, and it has exported that. And if you check on the taskbar, you'll see a folder which is blinking. That is the folder which I'm going to open. So you can say OK, go over there, and you'll see that folder of MCQ. This is the folder that you want. So this is the folder that you have exported. When you look at inside that folder, you'll find that there are very many files. All these are files that you have created, all these ones. The software has created all these web pages. You will look for a file called index here. You'll find that that file has got the icon of your default web browser or the browser that you have used to work on exe. If that is not the case, you'll just right click and then you say open with and then choose your favorite browser. For me, I'm using Chrome and I'm okay opening this file using Chrome. So I just double click and there we have it. And you can see the file that we have just created is over here, number 4. If I click on that, you can see the multiple choice question. I went through it very fast because I wanted to show you how to enter text, how to enter an image, and how to create equations. The only thing that I never did, because it's going to take a little bit of time, maybe I'll do this one in the next video, is this part here. You find this equation looks a little bit odd. So in my next video, I'm going to show you how to edit this kind of equation so that it looks correct. So as soon as you have that folder, let me get it from wherever it is saved. I called it number 4. I called it number 4. It's over here. Let's look at its size. That folder is just 1.24 MBs. It is a very, very light file. You can be able to send it over to your students without a lot of problems. Now, how do you send it? You'll go to that folder, right click, and then once you have right clicked it, you'll come here to compress and email. You click on that and there will be an option here for you to be able to compress it. You'll say OK. And you have your folder which has been compressed. And you can see you have reduced the size of the folder. This is just 215 kilobytes. This is the file that you send over to your students. They are going to extract it and get this folder as it is. And then you can give them further instructions on how to use the same. So that is as far as the size of the folder is concerned. But remember, if you're using other types of files that are quite heavy, like for example videos, that folder can be very heavy and it may not be very easy for you to send it over to your students electronically. That type of folder is best when you use it with your own classroom in real-time situations. But we'll be exploring options on how you can get that type of folder over to your students. So let's go back to the software and look at other features. Like I've just said, when the student receives this kind of file, it becomes very easy to use because over here, you can give instructions as to how the student is going to progress. And then you can see this one will go all the way up to the 40th question because in paper 1, advanced level physics, there are 40 items. So each one of them is created the way I have shown you. It takes a bit of time, so you'll have to be patient with this software. Another thing that you need to observe with this software is that when you're working on the software creating the questions, you will need to be careful when you want to exit. You'll need to be very, very careful when you want to do that because many times when people want to exit a certain tab, they just click on this X here to close it. This is not very advisable with this type of software because it will just crash your web browser. So what you need to do is go to File and then go to Quit. That is the best way of closing that type of file safely. Another advantage of designing multiple choice questions using this system is the extra information which you give your students and the ease with which they access this information. Remember, you will take time designing all this carefully. But when it comes to the student will find it very, very easy and very helpful. Why? There are hints as to how to answer the question. And when the question is wrong, there is a reason why that choice is wrong. And even when the answer is correct, you can give more information as to extra information that is required, because in multiple choice questions, we know that the examiners can be able to twist that question depending on what they want, testing other aspects. So it is important that you as a teacher, you give your students more information as to why that answer is correct, and alert your students that that is not the only way that question can be set. So I hope for those who were asking how they can design MCQ, I've given you a software that is much, much better than just using Microsoft Word to design this MCQ. This is much, much helpful. It is a way of creating MCQ in a very smart way. So if you have never used EXE before, make sure you go through my previous videos on how to use the same, combine it with this lecture, and you'll find that you'll be able to create multiple choice questions in your subject. In my next video, I'm going to show you how you can organize videos and other kind of interactive activities for your students using the same software.